Hello again. Welcome back to Type Over 40. Yeah, it's a little bit extra from me. Sunday afternoons, maybe sometimes in between podcasts, we'll see. So be careful what you wish for. You encourage me. You've got no one to blame but yourself. Yeah, so we're back for another few minutes. What I thought I'd do is scroll through the wall again, have a bit of a joke, bit of a laugh with you all, and yeah, we'll see what fresh there is to see, what fresh there is to say, and yet again it's been a really active week. In fact, there's been two huge outrages since I last spoke to you like this. First over Crystal D and now Gareth Roberts. There's always something going on in Doctor Who. And my big frustration at the moment is most of the time it's got nothing really remotely to do with actual Doctor Who. Whereas in our group, we can throw out any kind of JPEG that we want, any old reference, old or new, and yeah, we can sort of escape from all that just for a little bit, can't we, in our own little space? Um, yeah, but every time these subjects do come up, obviously, they're gonna come up. We're all human beings. We're all part of this discourse. We've all got an opinion on it somewhere along the way, and I'm no different in that. I've got feelings about it all too, but I don't profess to know everything about it. I've certainly never met Gareth Roberts or Crystal D, and I probably never will. But yeah, in the grand scheme of things, I'm here to talk about Doctor Who. I'm here to share Doctor Who with you guys, and I would imagine that's why you joined the group too. We're a community at the end of the day, and this is very much their business. And yeah, it's always interesting watching how these things play out, isn't it? Yeah, so let's have a look. Let's see what's been going on in the last day or two. Yeah, well, Gary Finney, Gary Finney's heir. Uh, since you've joined the group, you've brought us so many things I've never seen before, and these new pictures from the Sunmakers launch, they're a prime example. I've seen pictures from this shoot before, but not these before, and all the time. Just the other day, I saw pictures from John Pertwee's announcement as the Doctor that I'd never seen before. It's really nice to see this stuff. If it's possible, any of you find anything, even if you think we may have seen it before, there's a chance that some of us won't have done so. Please bring it along. Tag whoever. Have fun with it. Get to know one another and get to know Doctor Who. Another recent joiner, Paul Palmer. I've just seen your VHS collection here, mate. Yeah, it's. I own all these too. You see all this stuff piled up, and it really obviously it's a bygone era, isn't it? The analog era. What can I say? These things have clearly had a loving home for the last 20 years. If Paul's being good enough to send it all out to whoever, I hope somebody takes you up on that. And people who probably haven't seen any classic Doctor Who before or have seen very little are going to get to see potentially a lot more here. So yeah, welcome to the group again, Paul. We hope to get you on the podcast at some point in the future. We'll see, and just have fun. And I hope somebody get some takers. Olivia Colman, yeah, Olivia Colman. Great many people have her down as their fantasy female Doctor. I share that up to a point. I've always enjoyed her in pretty much everything, whether it be comedy or drama, or when she appears as herself on chat shows and things. She's very, very warm, very likable, very down to earth, and probably the only Oscars acceptance speech that hasn't made an entire sort of world squirm, really, that I can think of. She'd have been a terrific Doctor in many respects. I don't doubt. You know how I feel about it. My general opinion is that I don't believe they should have made the Doctor female. Full stop. Nothing's going to change my mind about that. But Olivia Colman was a considerably better actress than some. Yeah, so yeah, throw out the love to Olivia there, and obviously it's depending on what you think about these honours, like the New Year's honours or the birthdays honours list. It often comes with an increase in profile, an increase in expectation, and it does a lot of charity work tends to involve these things, the CBE and the OBE. So I think it's quite a nice thing. Simon Horton. Yeah, Simon is scarf. Yeah, Simon fell right into my trap when we recorded the podcast. I hope if you haven't heard the latest podcast, it's pinned to the very top of the wall in the announcement section. It's a good, actually, I was going to say it's a good 90 minutes, over an hour and a half of solid conversation. Myself and Simon Horton talking about the fantastic season 18, the season 18 box set, and the stories themselves. And yeah, we do geek out a lot. We're both 80s junkies. So there's 80s music in there as well, 80s movies, and just general pop culture goodness for you all to, or whether you were there or not, hopefully it will evoke something of the time, and you can see our enthusiasm for it and the show come across in all that, I would hope. But yeah, Simon fell right into my trap recording the show. So I sprung it on him, and sure enough, there's the photograph of Simon in his much loved season 18 scarf. And very dapper you look too, sir. Fantastic stuff. Noel Glynn, back with more videos. Yeah, we obviously, since your scoop with the Jadoon stuff, the fact that this could be an announcement coming connected with Jodie Whittaker, obviously the ears prick up when we hear anything like that. So yeah, we're watching very, very closely. And personally, I think it's very likely that Jodie Whittaker, she's going to be gone sooner rather than later. Whether it'll be quite this soon, I don't know. My feeling on it is that if they do announce something before season 12, it will only be because the press have got to it first. They will want to sit on something like that, specifically dates. They'll want to sit on that for as long as possible because, it does give off. But the longer they sit on it, the more time they have to craft the story, which they all, obviously, they hold the intellectual property and it's their business at the end of the day. I don't really resent them for doing that. But yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how it plays out. And yeah, Chris Chibnall and Jodie Whittaker I think it's almost 100% certain they'll go at the same time unless something really drastically changes. So yeah, watch this space or watch that space, as they say. What else have we got? Kyle Wagner. Yeah, more links to other other Fandom Podcast Network shows 2 or 3 times a week. Culture Clash obviously back at the moment. There's Discoville 2 and Blood of Kings, all that stuff. So, if you're used to seeing these entries on the wall, give 1 or 2 of them a go. Look for them on Podbean and all the various other places, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, all that sort of thing. Always worth a listen, as I keep saying. Yeah, Paul, you mentioned, back to Paul Palmer, mentioning season 7. We've all got our favourite seasons, haven't we? Everybody has, and their favourite version of Doctor Who. And it's interesting that you've latched onto that because I know how much you love horror. So there's a lot of horror trappings in that, aren't there? I don't know how other people feel about it. It's a very visceral series, isn't it? I can see exactly what you mean. Christian Basil, yeah, we've just recorded a podcast with Christian, which you're going to get to hear really, really soon. And he's got a new one out at the moment, he's podcasting himself. And yeah, we're really excited for you to hear that. It's myself, Christian, and Kyle Wagner talking about somebody specific to the Doctor Who universe for a good hour or so. So watch for that in a few days' time, probably by the end of the week. Yeah. Oh, and it was Colin Baker's birthday recently. That's they seem to roll around quite quickly, don't they? It's always someone's birthday in Doctor Who. And more podcasts, all that sort of thing. So it's all going on. Plenty to talk about. But the real thing I wanted to talk about was the poll that we ran about season 18 in conjunction with the podcast that we put out. I noticed, I don't know why I was surprised by this, but I noticed that Legopolis was sitting very comfortably at the top of that list with the Keeper of Traken not far below. For years, Legopolis was my personal favourite, and I wondered why, because I've watched all the stories now several times since, and obviously I voted for something else. So I'm going to say this. There's no wrong answers to this sort of thing, is there? I don't think Legopolis is the best story of that season, but I think it is the most widely watched. I think that if people are going to sample classic Doctor Who, which does happen, quite a lot, they just pick, don't they? And a great many people do go for those regeneration stories, either the first ones with new doctors or the last ones with old doctors. So it could be that a lot of people who maybe haven't seen as much of the classic series as myself or various other people have, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not being a gatekeeper about it, but I think the story is probably more widely seen, and I think that could account for the big gap there. But not that it's bad by any stretch of the imagination. I didn't expect to see the Keeper of Traken nestling at number 2. That did surprise me. I thought there'd be a bit of a fight for that place. I've always loved the Keeper of Traken, but I think it's an acquired taste, and the pace of it's quite leisurely, but just goes to show, what do I know? I'm glad you all enjoyed the poll. There'll be more of those. We're going to do more podcasts about these box sets, obviously, whenever they come out. So, it's a bit of a trickle, I know, every 2 to 3 months or so. But yeah, watch for more of those. I'm sure Simon will be back on. Try stopping him. But there'll be more guests too, and there'll be lots and lots and lots of other classic series content. We've got it all planned out. We don't just throw the show together. Speaking of classic Doctor Who, I've gone analog as well this last week, and I'm still going through the Peter Davison era. And just to set the mood, I've got the old audio tape out. This audio cassette here was put out by the Doctor Appreciation Society about 1990, and it's got the soundtrack, the score. That's the music of Paddy Kingsland there, who did all the music for Castrovalva and Mordred Undead, sort of really electronic music, and really sets the atmosphere up for it. I bought this when I was about 16 from a Doctor Who convention in Coventry. I think I paid about £6 for it. To the best of my knowledge, you can't get it on CD, and maybe I don't know how many they would have sold. I think it was a limited number as well. But yes, that's my little rarity for today. If anybody's got one of these, tell us about it. If you can get it on CD, tell me about it too, because I've been playing it on I've got 2 cassette decks left that haven't misbehaved and chewed anything up, that are still safe to use. So I've been chilling out with a bit of Paddy Kingsland over the last few days while I've been watching Mordred Undead, which I still love. It's a great story. It's sort of the forgotten Time Lordy story. There's a lot of Time Lord related lore in that Mordred Undead by Peter Grimwade. So yeah, that's my recommendation this time. I think that's about it. You've suffered enough. There'll be more of these videos. I do quite enjoy doing it. And there could be more coming up with the Space Book as well. We'll see. I hope you're having a fantastic day. I'm sure I'll see you some point in the week. Probably all of you at some point, some interchanging. Keep the comments coming. Keep sharing if you can. Keep getting involved. And thanks again. Bye.